Does your yard look like this? Thin spots, ruts. Welcome back again to Toro Zoysia. This week we're going to talk about top dressing your lawn. And the reason we're going to top dress is because we have peaks and valleys, low spots, ruts, thin spots, washouts, things like that. And in order to make it a little more smooth, we're just going to put some topsoil on it. A lot of people use sand or compost or mix, and all of that is fine, and they all serve different purposes. I was duped a little bit or misled at the nursery when I went to look at their topsoil, which was a screened sand and compost mix that looked perfect for top dressing. So I ordered a truckload of it, and when it arrived, that's not what I've gotten. And I think that their supplier basically resupplied them with a little different topsoil. However, there's nothing wrong with what I have. It's just a little thick for top dressing, but I have tested it and it seems to work okay. So what we're going to do today is put a thin layer on the yard. I'm going to show you some tools and ways to apply it and spread it and level it. Hang on. Let's dig in and take a look. Alright, so here we have some screen topsoil. It does have some organic matter in it and bits of clay. I have spread a little bit in the test spot and watered it in. It looks like the clay breaks up very easily. There are a few little rocks in it, but we're not going to worry about that. I can hand pick those later if they become a problem. That's what I'm dealing with today, and they are building 3 new houses in the neighborhood, and they're being a little bit loud, but we're going to work through it. At least they're not playing circus music this time. So to get started, we're going to work with our top dressing, which can be topsoil, sand, compost, or any mix of the 3. We're going to work with a shovel, a wheelbarrow, and the Levelawn tool. The Levelawn tool is a push-pull device that pushes material off of high spots, drops it in low spots, and as you work it back and forth, you're working the grass back up out of the top dressing and basically making the area a little bit more level. My goal today is to get a thin layer of this down, fill in some of these little low spots, and make it just a little bit more level. Basically what has happened in my yard is I have a solid red clay with no topsoil at all, and over time, during rains or whatever, it just washes out, becomes a hard pan, and it just makes the grass a little harder to grow in and a little more difficult for it to spread. So I'm going to start out with a quick base of this, and at some point in the future I'll come back and hit it with compost and or sand or whatever, and really tighten that up a little bit, make it a little bit more smooth. But for today's application, I did not want to go with sand, simply because some of the areas that I'm filling in will take inches of sand, and you know, sand doesn't hold water, it doesn't hold nutrients very well. I'm not sure how well this shows up on camera, but if you draw a parallel line about where the wheelbarrow is standing towards the back of that white pickup truck, the parallel line being with the edge of the driveway, this entire area is a little low and it holds a lot of water and stays really muddy after a rain. So we're going to put a little top dressing on it to help bring that level up.
We're going to demonstrate how to use the Levelawn tool. It's a push-pull motion. I see a few spots that I need to add a little more soil to, but we'll knock that out and then we will hit some other areas and let this dry. Since this is a little dark and moist, we'll let it dry and then rake it over again, and that'll help work it down into the soil grass canopy to the soil level.
All right, so got a couple wheelbarrows left to do, and light is starting to fade on me, so I wanted to go ahead and get this closing in before the light did fade. I did get 6 yards of a topsoil that was screened. It looks like it's got some good organic matter in it. It wasn't clumpy at all, but there are some rocks and debris and trash in it. Typical for any topsoil, really. Get back over here. So what I did is I went around to my low spots and I just threw dirt in there, and then I tried to give the rest of the yard a nice, really thin dressing, and I took the Levelawn rake and just worked it in, and I saved you the viewing pleasure. I'm sure that you would have all been happy to see it. Anyway, we're gonna walk around the yard and look at it and tell you what good it does. Hang on. So this top dressing is gonna, I hate this stupid gimbal. Go this way. There we go. It's gonna give me some organic matter. Hopefully this will settle in, and if it rains tonight, it'll pack it down a little bit and work it down a little better and somewhat self-level itself. Over here, straight down this line here where my tire runs every time I run the mower along the edge here, has a depression, and it was a little bit of wheatgrass, so I put some in here, and also down this whole row right here. It seems that every time it rains, that's just a natural low spot all the way down that the rainwater runs down. Just random low spots in the yard. Whoa, come back. The gimbal's not playing good. Put a little bit here, a little bit in my tire tracks along the road, a little bit in the ditch over here. My neighbor's kids are in the road fighting. They're both 5 or 6 years old. They're having a good time. But anyway, over here in this weak area, this really shady area, I just top dressed it a little bit. You can see all my debris here. Oh, some of my tomato plants. Got a bunch more on the porch. Put some plugs in the ground here. Back here in the back, I have not used the Levelawn tool from about here back. Just haven't finished it yet. But hauling 6 cubic yards of topsoil around is kind of heavy. So this is what it looks like. Over here where the ruts were, It's nowhere near level, but I won't be scalping anymore. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what I do on the side. Go the other way. So here are some Toro Zoysia plugs that I've been growing. They look a little rough, but they're coming in. Alright, so when you look at top dressing, topsoil is going to be your answer if you're looking to fill in really deep areas. Or you could do a topsoil mixed with a potting soil or a compost, but you really want something with organic matter and something other than sand to fill in deeper areas. That way you actually have a soil there once the grass grows in. Sand is reserved more for leveling, so you'd put a thin layer of sand and work it in, and it will more or less self-level with a little bit of help and rain. The topsoil, again, is to fill in low areas, and basically I'm using it to prepare for a leveling project in the future. Another good benefit of a dark top dressing, especially in the early season, is the fact that it attracts heat, retains heat, and also somewhat insulates the soil you put it on. Therefore, it will lead to your lawn to fill out a little faster and come in out of dormancy a little faster. So today I'm going to hit this with the RGS, which is the root growth stimulant, and I'll probably do probably a 4 or 5 ounce per 1,000 application. I've got another spot that I'm gonna probably do a 620 liquid fertilizer, and that's an area that I plan on plugging out next weekend, and I'm just trying to give it a little boost. It's probably about 1,000 square feet. What else, Sarah? What else? What did we forget? I think that about does it for today. Wasn't a whole lot of content, but you get the idea, and it's something you can do to improve your yard. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and I will see you next week.